Michelle McCall is a Geordie in this.
Pete, you suck.
The creepy and the spooky and something and ooky.
Why are you making spag bol out of Fusili?
What? What?
It's so Yorkshire.
Okay. Hello and welcome to another episode of Calling Spots here on partsFUNknown. I am Pete, hailing from partsFUNknown, and if you're new to this series, this is a little game that we like to play while we can in lockdown, and if you're new, here's how the game works. One member of the partsFUNknown team has written a story set in the WWE universe. They've then told that story to camera and have sent that story over to another member of the team. They then can watch that story precisely one time before having to recount it to the best of their ability, including all the details. They then send their version of the story over to another member of the team, who can watch that video once and has to recount their version of the story, and so on until everyone has gone. Then we all hop in a call together and we point fingers and blame each other. Now, today's story is a special one because the outline for this story was submitted by one of our lovely Patreon backers, that being the Mayor of Painesville, Dan. If you want to submit your own Calling Spot storyline outlines, then head on over to our Patreon page, patreon.com/partsFUNknown, as that's one of the many perks over on that page, as well as having access to the bonus watch along where we get to see everybody's reactions to everybody's stories. So without further ado, here's a story from Oli Davis submitted by Mayor of Painesville, Dan.
It was Doc Gallows Eve. The scariest, spookiest time for us mere mortals, but for one excitable 55-year-old, it was the most magical day he looked forward to all year. The camera swoops down from looking at the full moon against a purple sky, through a forest of deadened trees, past pumpkin heads carved to resemble the horror greats of the WWE, the Boogeyman, Gangrel, and Mace, to come before a grand Gothic mansion in the middle of parts unknown. They're creepy and they're kooky, mysterious and spooky, they're all together ooky, the McCall family, da-da-da-dun. Studio applause as Undertaker enters the McCall family dime room. He's wearing his full Ministry of Darkness outfit, as he is wont to do on Doc Gallows Eve, because he has a very special secret tradition to uphold. He's going out to get one last soul. But Michelle has forbidden this, so he says, "I'm just popping out to play dominoes with the Bone Street crew, dear." To which Michelle answered, "Hey, that's Leet, pet. Could you pick up some stuff from shop on way back?" Undertaker groaned. He didn't want to pick up anything from the shop. If Michelle needed stuff from the shop, she should have told him when he was at the shop yesterday. "What would you like, my dear? Could you pick up some of them biscuits I like with cream in the middle that's custard? Custard creams? And a pack of dried fusilli to make spaghetti bolognese. That would make it fusilli bolognese. Yes, I will. And take one of Druid's with you. They've been chained up in basement for months. They serve me, though, and that is my will. Take slapwank." "I can't take slapwank, Michelle. Take spunk nuts." "I don't want to take spunk nuts. There aren't enough dominoes." Michelle burst up in anger. "You're not playing dominoes. You're off to get one more soul." What's a soul? You've even got your soul-reaping cozzy on." "Michelle, I need the soul. You've got me doing tiger videos and instant grams. My brother of destruction, Kane, only ever talks about libertarian politics these days, and there's only so much Animal Crossing I can play. I need to feel dead again, Michelle." Suddenly, the lights cut out and a loud dong reverberated around the room. It was the novelty doorbell, through which entered that huge guy that accompanies AJ Styles to the ring on Raw.
"Hi, Mr. Undertaker. An honor to meet you. Mr. McMahon has said he's very high on me backstage and wants me to work with you at Survivor Series to give me the rub."
Undertaker looked at Michelle, and they both broke into evil, demonic smiles at the offering. The true King of Hell had come through for them once again. "Oh yes, that huge guy from Raw. You'll be getting a push." And Michelle finished his sentence, "Into the pits of hell," and the two devoured his very tall soul.
It was Doc Gallows Eve, and the moon was set upon a purple sky as the camera zooms through the spooky forest with all the remnants of this time of the year, pumpkins and skeletons, and the remnants of the WWE. Gangrel, the boogeyman. Mace, as the camera zooms towards the mansion. He did the Addams Family intro, but I can't remember the words. The spooky, the creepy, the Merkel family. You know what? I tried. I didn't really. As the camera enters the house, a round of applause breaks out as you see the Undertaker there in a room with Michelle McCool. She's also there, and Undertaker says to her that Undertaker at this time of the year on Doc Gallows Eve just needed one more soul. But of course, Michelle doesn't like him doing that. So he turns to Michelle and he says, "I'm just going out for some dominoes with the Bone Street crew." To which Michelle says, "Howie, you ain't going out." I can't even, I've lost my own Geordie accent. You can't do that. That's Scottish. I'm not going to try. That's fine. And then Michelle says, "If you're going out, pet, could you also get me some..." What is this accent? Some stuff from shops. That's just turning into Yorkshire now. We'll go with Yorkshire instead. It's fine. And Undertaker says, "The shops?" And Michelle says, "Aye, could you get me some stuff? Could you get me some fusilli so we could make spaghetti bolognese?" And Undertaker says, "Wouldn't that make it fusilli bolognese?" To which Michelle says, something else. I was laughing too much at the bloody accent. And then she says, "Well, why don't you take some of the druids that have been hanging around? Why don't you take Slapwank?" And Undertaker says, I don't want to take Slapwank." And then she says, "How about Slapnuts?" That's not what he said. And then Undertaker says, "I don't want to take Slapnuts. There's not enough dominoes for everybody." To which Michelle finally says, "You're not going out for dominoes. You're getting one more soul, aren't you?" To which Undertaker says, "I don't even know what a soul is." But at that point, a loud noise rings out. Dong! Reverberates throughout the mansion. At which point, the big guy from Raw that accompanies AJ Styles is there. To which he says to Undertaker, "Oh, hello, Mr. Undertaker. Vince McMahon's hiring me backstage and he wants me to work with you at Survivor Series and give me the rub." To which Undertaker says, to which Undertaker and Michelle McCool break out in demonic grins as they realize the food that has been presented to them, and they proceed to devour his very tall soul. Some bits I missed out of that. Nah, it's fine.
All right, Pete sucks at this game. It's Doc Gallows Eve, a moon against a purple sky as the camera zooms through a spooky forest and several spooky superstars, the boogeyman, Gangrel, etc. And then the camera appears on this big, run-down, ramshackle mansion. Do-do-do-dum. Do-do-do-dum. Do-do-do-dum, do-do-do-dum, do-do-do-dum. The creepy and the kooky, the something and the spooky, that everything that's wooky, the McCool family. Yes, and so Michelle McCool and the Undertaker are, they're in their mansion, and Undertaker, he's got an itch. He's got, I just wanna get one more soul. And he's like sneaking out, and Michelle says, "Hurry, pet, where do y'all think y'all's going?" And Undertaker says to Michelle, "Oh, I'm just going out to play some dominoes with the Bone Street crew." And Michelle says, "Oh, Howie, if you're heading to the shops, could you put us up some fusilli for spaghetti bolognese?" And the Undertaker says, "The shops? But that would make it fusilli bolognese. Surely you mean spaghetti?" And she says, that's right, pet. But also, could you... No, she's turning into the woman from Fireman Sam. No, man! Could you also take us with yous when you go to play those dominoes, like? Could you take the slap wank and slap nuts? There's ever so bored. At which point Undertaker says, "Oh, no, there's not enough dominoes for slap wank and slap nuts." And Michelle says, "You're going out to get yourselves another soul, aren't you? I see you, Mr. Calloway. I see yous. You're going out to get a soul, you bastard." And the Undertaker says, "Oh, I was. You caught me." Then suddenly there's a knock at the door, and it's that big fella that AJ Styles has started hanging around with on Raw. And he says, "Oh, hello, Mr. Undertaker, man." This is the voice that Pete did. "Hello, Mr. Undertaker, man. Vince is super high on me backstage." I don't know why he's Geordie as well, but he is. "As Mr. McMahon is super high on me backstage, and he was wondering, would you mind working with us on Survivor Series and giving us the rub like?" And Michelle and Undertaker look at each other and they're like, Deliveroo, a meal has come to us, and then they eat him. That's it. That's the story. Next.
It is Doc Gallows Eve, and the camera pans through a spooky scenario, a spooky vision, a spooky landscape, if you will. Scary trees, terrifying bushes. You may hear like a "oh" in the background. It is, after all, it's scary stuff, like. And but in the distance, in the background, you can almost hear what appears to be theme music. Ba-da-da-dum, 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 ba-da-da-dum. The creepy and the spooky, mysterious and ooky, they're all together. I got the wrong words. The McCool family. I can't believe I got that wrong. Anyway. So get the Addams Family bit right. It's the McCool family, or the Calloway family, as it most likely is going to be, isn't it? The Calloway family. We're at the Undertaker and Michelle McCool's mansion. And the Undertaker is sitting at that big throne that he was sat in the Last Ride documentary, where it was like, "And then I did this." Like, he sat in that chair again, right? And he's thinking to himself, "What I want, what I need, is one more soul. I need a little taste, just one more soul, man. I just need one more soul." And so he thinks to himself, "Gonna go get that soul that I'm craving." So he gets out of his chair, but Michelle McCool pops her head round and she goes, "Hi, pet, where do you think you're going, like?" This is the voice that Pete did. Apparently he's very bad at this game. "Hi, where do you think you're going there, pet?" Undertaker, he doesn't want to tell Michelle that he's going out for one more soul. So he turns to her and goes, "Oh, I'm going to play dominoes with the Bone Street crew, Godfather, and etc." Smeg, in the spooky stuff, Gangrel was there, and the Boogeyman, etc. But he's not playing with them. He wants to go play with the Godfather and Bradshaw with the Bone Street crew, play some dominoes. Michelle kind of likes the sound of this. Pet, would you take us with you? I'd love to go play some dominoes there." And Undertaker's like, oh, I don't think we've got enough bones to play with you. But what if we bring we Slapjack and Slapnut and Slapwank? I definitely can't get all three of yous into the game, and you as well, Michelle. It's just not going to happen. Well, if you're going out, could you at least pop to the shops and pick us up some scran? Of course. What would you like me to get? Is what he asks. And she says, I'd like some fusilli, pet, because I'm looking to make some spaghetti bolognese. That seems a very strange thing to ask for, because surely you would want spaghetti pasta if you're going to make spaghetti bolognese. Pet, I suppose you're right. Here, hang on a moment. You're not going to play dominoes, are you, you little bastard? You're going out to get another soul. She caught him. She caught him, and he's like, Michelle, you done caught me. I was going out for one more stole. But before this could escalate further into an argument, there's a little rat-tat-tat at the door of this giant mansion. Lurch, obviously, is not available to answer, so Undertaker answered it himself. And it's the big lad from Raw, the big giant man who's out with AJ Styles at the moment. Undertaker, of course, is incredibly distracted by the man's impressive size. He's like, can I help you? And the man says,
Hello there, I would like, Vince McMahon is super high on me backstage, and I really need to try and get over. So, could yous help me out and get me over? Do something with me at Survivor Series, and maybe I will get the rub.
And Undertaker thinks to himself, rub. So Undertaker and Michelle McCool eat him. That's it.
It was Doc Gallows Eve, and of course, on Doc Gallows Eve, it is a very spooky time. There's lots of spooky things. As far as I remember, there is Gangrel's there, and the Boogeyman's there, and you can hear a theme song in the background. It's the Addams Family, but it's not the Addams Family. It goes da 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 da. I can't click. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. The creepy and the spooky and something and ooky. McCool Calloway family. It's the Undertaker and Michelle McCool. Well, actually, just the Undertaker at first. He is sitting in a throne, as you can imagine. You know, the one from the Last Ride documentary is the one that Luke described to me. A bit like this, but more throny. He's sitting there and he thinks to himself, I just need one more soul. Because obviously he never got that final soul. He really wanted Roman Reigns' soul. And he would really have liked Brock Lesnar's soul at WrestleMania 30. But of course, he didn't manage to get those. So he's thinking to himself, I need to get one more soul, but Michelle's gonna know if I go out to get one more soul, so I gotta think of an excuse to go and get one more soul. One more souls. And so he thinks, do you know what? I'm gonna tell Michelle that I'm gonna go out and see the Boneyard Crew, the Bone something crew. I didn't watch wrestling back then. The Bone Crew with JBL and someone, the Godfather. But Michelle, cool, then puts her head round the corner. And she goes, Howie, pet, what you gonna be doing right now? I can't really do the accent, but this is the accent that Luke did. Howie, are you gonna go out to get one more soul? And he goes, no, I'm just gonna go and play dominoes with the fellas, you know, with the guys, the bone people. And Michelle says, oh, well, can I come along? I've not really got any plans tonight. I'd love to be part of it. And he goes, well, I'm not sure there's got enough dominoes to do that, you know. We haven't really got any. And she says, well, how about you go for get those guys from Raw, you know, Slapjack, Slapnut, Slapwank, and Slap Me Silly. He goes, oh, well, no, I really don't think I can do that. There's really not enough dominoes for everyone. But then she realises what he's up to. She says, Undertaker, Mark, if you will, You're going out to get one more soul, aren't you? I could tell you were lying to me all the time. Go back to Greg's. And he's like, oh man, well, you got me off. Fine, I won't do it. And then there's a knock on the door. And of course, because Lurch isn't there, Lurch, that ugly guy from the thing, Lurch isn't there to open in the door for them. So Mark, Mr. Undertaker, opens the door, and it's the big fella from Raw, AJ Styles' mate, Jordan Omogbehin, or Big Ninja or Bouncer, and of course he's just so tall that the Undertaker's just staring at him like his height is so distracting, and the man says to the Undertaker in definitely a perfect Nigerian accent, "How are you? I would really like you to help me out now. I've got to go on Raw, but I don't have any personality, and I'd really like the rub." But all the Undertaker hears from this is the word rub. And of course, being from Texas, he loves barbecue. And so Michelle and the Undertaker eat him. Can you believe it?
It was Doc Gallows Eve, the spookiest time of the year, and as you would imagine on Doc Gallows Eve, all of the spooky people were there. Gangrel was there. Boogeyman was there, who I almost forgot for a second there, but I just remembered it right now. Papa Shango was maybe there. I don't know. I'm just making it up. But lo and behold, that wasn't really anything. That was just a bunch of names for us to remember, because the real point of the story was that the Addams Family theme was playing, and it was diddle-da, diddle-da. I can only click with one of them. Diddle-da, diddle-da, diddle-da. The spooky and the kooky. Da-da-da-da-da-da. The something hooky. The Mark and Michelle McCool family. Undertaker's there. He's sat in a big throne, the one from the Last Ride documentary, according to Andy, according to Luke. And he's thinking to himself, even though the Calloway family, the rest of the Calloway family aren't there, and he's thinking to himself, I need to go out and get myself one more soul. Because he wanted Roman Reigns' soul, but obviously he didn't beat Roman Reigns. He wanted Brock Lesnar's soul back from WrestleMania 30, and he didn't get that either. But he's like, I want one more soul. But the problem was that Michelle McCool didn't want him to go out and get one more soul. She's like, you've done enough getting souls, Mr. Taker. Mark, if you will. You need to stay in and be a husband and a normal person and hang out with your friends, Post Malone and stuff. I've added all this bit in. And so like he's thinking, I need to come up with an excuse because Michelle will tell me no. So thinking about it, he thinks he's got the perfect excuse. And Michelle comes in, Michelle McCool walks in and says, oh, you're right there, pet Undertaker. Mark, I can't do a Geordie accent, but that's the accent we were doing. She's like, what are you going to do this evening, Mark? What are you getting up to? And he's like, I'm just going to go hang out with the Boneyard Boys. JBL. And, who was the other person that Andy said? Godfather. Weird. She's like, oh, what are you going to do? He's like, we're going to play dominoes. And she's like, that doesn't sound like what you're going to do. You go out and get one more soul there, Mr. Undertaker. Mark, Mr. Calloway. You're going to go out and get one more soul. He's like, no, we're going to, I swear to you, we're going to go play dominoes. He's like, well, can I come and play dominoes? He's like, no, we've already got too many players for dominoes. And she's like, I don't think you have enough players for dominoes. What if you went and got those Retribution boys, Slapjack, Slapwank, slap at the base, man, slap me in the face. And she's like, no, we've already got all the players for dominoes. And this is the point where Michelle McCool sees right through the ruse. And she's like, you're not even going to play dominoes, you bastard. You're gonna go out and get souls again, aren't you? You're addicted to souls. But this whole conversation is cut across by the doorbell going, which seemingly has nothing to do with anything else. And because the Calloway family doesn't have a lurch. They just have to answer the door themselves, like paupers. So they go to the door, and Mark opens it.
And who should be there but AJ Styles' massive friend off Raw, Jordan, what's his face, the big ninja, and who else was he? He was the bouncer. And he says in a perfect Nigerian accent, apparently, "Hey up there, lad. I'm going on Raw and I need someone to help put me over, to give me the rub." And then, obviously, because Undertaker and Michelle McCool are from Texas, they think, rub, barbecue, and they eat him. The end. Can you believe it? Ooh, spooky.
Hello, welcome to the watch-along part of the video
Hello.
for this episode of Calling Spots. Now, as I mentioned in the intro, the idea for this outline for the story came from one of our lovely Patreon backers, the Mayor of Painesville, Dan, over on our new partsFUNknown Patreon page, which you can also do if you head over there. Go check it out. So, Mr. Davis, you had that initial one line of story from Dan, and you ran with it.
Yeah, well, it was Halloween, and I thought I'd make a spooky, scary story. Undertaker paid tribute to the man who's graced WWE screens for 30 years.
It was
Perfect timing as well, because this episode will air after Halloween. So it is just perfect timing.
Yeah.
Well, I'm all about that timing, about getting those peaks and troughs. I want to come just after the wave of interest, which is the steepest drop-off.
That's
Yes,
That's smart.
perfect.
Yeah.
It's important to point out as well, for the context of this video, that two things. One, Pete's fiance is called Michelle.
You're
and
engaged.
Two,
When did
I
that
really wish
happen?
you'd say something.
and
Oh my
two,
God.
Pete's fiance is from Georgetown. She's from Newcastle.
From
That-
Newcastle.
That seems to have been an important through line for this story. How did that make you feel, Pete?
Oh, it was great. Also, it was really fun recording it, because then I got a message from Michelle after I finished recording that just said, "Am I in the effing Calling Spots episode?" To which I just had to say, "Yeah, sorry."
See, when I got it from Luke, I didn't know, because Luke's the kind of originator of the Michelle voice. I didn't know whether Luke...
I think Michelle's the originator of the Michelle voice.
No. But it's the special voice that Luke does.
Uh-huh.
See, I didn't know whether he had just put it in because he thought it'd be funny. I didn't know whether it'd been if Pete had actually had to do an impression of his own fiance.
Well, Ollie's famously good at accents, so I'm quite
Oh, yeah,
interested
true.
in
Uh-huh.
what happens with this specific
Yeah.
Ollie's version of Geordie.
quite simple.
My suspicion is that Ollie does a man's Geordie accent because he can't really do the woman's Geordie accent for Michelle.
No.
Well,
hold on. And Andy, Ollie can't do an accent.
That's true.
I was
I think
going to
Ollie
say,
Geordie, I'm going to sound like it's from Mumbai. That's what it's going to sound like.
What you're talking about, Pet?
Oh no!
it's a lot of that. So
See,
instead
knew it.
of speculating, let's just see where this started,
Knew
shall
it.
we? Let's put on
Oh,
Ollie's
wait.
video. Here we go.
It was Doc Gallows Eve.
Nice.
The scariest,
Nice.
spookiest time for us mere mortals. But for one excitable 55-year-old, it was the most magical day he looked forward to all year. The camera swoops down from looking at the full moon against a purple sky through a forest of deadened
Learning
trees.
from the Adam
past
Buckle School of
pumpkin heads
Gestures.
Carved to resemble the horror greats of the WWE. The I felt a lot like Tom and Mace from to come before a grand No Roads Barred in the middle
nailed
of
it.
Parts Unknown. They're creepy and they're kooky, mysterious and spooky. They're all together ooky. The Merkel family.
Merkel? Angela Merkel family?
I'd done this like 3 times by this point. I was sick of doing takes.
You can't tell in your delivery.
Because he has a very special
Did you not think to just edit
tradition
it?
to uphold. He's going out. I'm carefully scrolling down Microsoft Word.
Do what I did and do it one take and edit it badly.
Out to play dominoes with the Bone Street crew, dear.
He can do accents.
Pet, could you pick up some stuff from the shop on the way back? He didn't want to pick up.
And he's from Yorkshire suddenly.
Yorkshire, yep.
Yep. I'm glad that we fixed this
We're
in
slowly
post.
moving down the country.
Yeah.
Would you like, my dear? Could you pick up some of them biscuits I like with cream in the middle? Custard creams? And a pack of dried fusilli to make spaghetti bolognese.
It's-
That would make it For
This
selling
is
on
not
it.
a Geordie
Yes, I will.
accent.
He was
And
born
it's
in
one of
Newcastle
Druids
and
with you.
moved to
They've been
London
chained
about
up in
10 years
basement
ago.
for months.
To be fair,
They
Michelle
serve
does
you,
often
though, and
just
that
walk around
is
with a
my
cloth
will.
cap in her
Take
hand,
slap
desperately
wank.
asking people for more
Take
gruel.
slap wank,
Hey
Michelle.
up, Gromit.
Take spunk
Michelle sounds like
Michelle.
she's got trap wind.
Take I spunk don't Michelle. get why everyone's made the link Dominance. between
Michelle
Geordie
burst
Michelle
out
and the
You're
different
not
thing
playing
This is just a
dominoes.
different
You're off to
accent,
get one more
not linked to Pete
soul.
and Michelle.
What's a soul? You've even got your soul reaping cozy on. Michelle, I need the soul. You've got me doing tiger videos and
The voices
instant
are the same
grams.
now. The
My
voices
brother
have
of
become the
destruction,
same.
Kane, only ever talks about libertarian politics these days, and there's
This is
only
Matt
It's a
Berry.
flawless Undertaker
Animal
accent, though.
Crossing
Like
I
it's
can play.
it's like he's in the
I need
room.
to feel dead
Rachel
again, Michelle.
Adedeji.
Suddenly,
Rachel Adedeji.
reverberated around the
Rest in peace.
Taunted that huge guy that accompanies AJ Styles to the ring on Raw. Hi, Mr. Undertaker. An honor to meet you. Mr.
Hey,
McMahon
you haven't
said
heard
he's
him
very
speak.
high on me backstage and
That's
wants
a
me
good
to
point.
work with you at
It
I'm
is.
so
Survivor
glad
to
you
give
didn't try a
the rub.
Nigerian accent for this.
Undertaker looked at Michelle.
Oh, you
They
didn't see the
both broke
outtakes.
into evil, demonic smiles at the offering. The true King of Hell had come through for them once again. Oh yes, that huge guy from Raw. You'll be getting a
Oh
push."
yes.
And Michelle finished his sentence.
It's the church.
Simon Cowell!
Reruns of Friends, only on E4.
Tool soul.
You say I can't do accents, but I can do X Factor voiceover
It
guy.
was
Okay.
Doc Gallows Eve, the
Nice.
spookiest time of the year, and as you would imagine on Doc Gallows Eve,
Listen to that, Laurie's already
all
done
the
like 4
spooky
different voices in just
people
one
were
sentence.
there.
It's okay,
Gangrel
I'm
was there. Boogeyman was there. who I almost
They've
forgot
all made
for a
it.
second there, but I just remembered it right now.
They're not there though, are
Papa
they?
Shango
No,
was
they
there.
weren't, no.
Version.
That's
what
I was told
just
they were
remembered
there.
enough.
But lo and behold, that wasn't really anything. That was just a bunch of names for us to remember because the real point of the story
That was just
the
filler.
Addams Family theme was playing, and it was diddle-a-doo, diddle-a-doo. I can only click with one of them. Diddle-a-doo, diddle-a-doo, diddle-a-doo.
Can you?
The
Yeah, I can
spooky
only
and the
do
kooky.
What's wrong with the other hand?
Something hooky. The Mark and Michelle McCool family. Undertaker's there. He's sitting in the throne. The one
Mark
who,
McCool.
last night, according to Andy, according to Luke. And he's thinking to himself, even though the Calloway family, the rest of the Calloway family aren't there, and he's thinking to himself,
The
I
McCool
need to
family.
go out and get myself one more soul.
That's a really good accent.
much
really,
better.
really good accent.
He
It's
didn't
not the
vivid,
accent I
isn't
did,
it?
though.
Wanted Brock Lesnar's soul back from WrestleMania.
Yeah, but it's the
30,
accent
and
that
he
somebody
didn't
else
get that either. But it's like, I want one more soul. But the problem was that Michelle McCool didn't want him to go out and get one more
Come
soul.
on, let's hear it.
You've
Let's
done
hear it,
enough
Laurie.
getting souls,
Wait, what?
Mr. Taker, Mark, if you
Wait,
will. You need to stay in
wait.
and be a husband and a normal person and hang out with your friends, Post Malone. and
Laurie!
stuff. I've added all
What?
this in.
Wait.
And so like he's thinking, I need
The
to
voice
come up
comes
with an
in.
excuse because Michelle will tell me no. So thinking about it, he thinks he's got
Matthew
perfect
McConaughey
excuse.
starting.
Michelle comes in. Michelle McCool walks in and says, "Oh, you're right there." I can't do a Geordie accent, but that's the accent we were doing. She's like, "Oh, what are you going to do?
Scouse this.
Yeah.
You're right there, Mark.
I'm just.
It's Welsh.
Gonna go hang out
Yeah, I was thinking Welsh.
with the Boneyard Boys.
The Boneyard Boys.
Boneyard
I'm going with
Boys.
I'm just doing what Andy told me.
Yeah, I didn't really know who they were.
Boneyard Boys, the Bone Street Crew.
The
That's the one.
BYB he's got written on his tummy.
And she's like, "Oh, what are you gonna do?" He's
The
like,
game
"I'm gonna
is
play
say what the
dominoes."
last
She's
person
like,
said.
Yeah. Sound like what you're
Don't
gonna
correct
do.
it.
You go out and get one more soul there, Mister.
Oh,
Mr. Calloway.
I'm a real
I'm
boy.
just doing my Monty Python voice.
Yes, yeah.
He's
out of the
Bob, it might bite him.
naughty boy. We've already got too many players for dominoes. And she's like, I don't think you have enough players for dominoes. What if you went and got those retribution boys? You know, slapjack, slap wank, slap the bass man, slap me in the face.
Oh, not again.
Players for dominoes. And this is the point where
To clarify, you didn't say slapwank. Slapwank made it to me from Pete, did it?
No, I said slap wank.
Oh, did you say slap wank?
You're gonna go out and get sores again, aren't you? You're addicted. You're addicted to sores. This whole conversation.
Shit, the character's taken on a life of its own at this point.
Yeah. Seemingly has nothing to do.
You're going to do anything else with this
anything
character,
else.
Laurie?
And, because
Maybe.
the family doesn't have alerts.
Just working out a Nora as Bald thing, you know.
To answer the door themselves, like paupers. So they go to the door, and Mark opens it. And who should be there but AJ Styles' massive friend off Raw, Jordan?
There's no dong. He just went to the
Big
door.
Ninja, and who else was he?
There's no massive dong to announce his arrival.
He says in a perfect Nigerian accent, apparently, "Hey up there, lad."
Oh no!
I need someone to help put me
Oh,
over.
my heart was in my mouth there for a second.
Yeah, I was a bit concerned.
Undertaker and Michelle McCool from Texas. They think rub, barbecue, and they eat it.
Yeah.
You know what?
Spooky.
It's well done.
Who'd have thought that the one going after Andy would include the line, "Can you believe it?" It's not like Andy says it every time or anything.
Well, to be fair, so I think that Ollie's was about 3 minutes. The one I got from Luke was 4 minutes 20. So something happened.
Yeah. So and what happened was I forgot to set up a timer, and then I just sort of ran with it until I edited it. I was like, "Uh-oh, I went 4 minutes."
Yeah, I think mine's about 4.5 minutes as well because I just tried to say as much as Luke said.
Yeah, I haven't had a timer in a while. Mine was 4 minutes, and I went second. So you know,
Mine wasn't. I got all of everything that you said, Pete, and I still managed to cream a minute out of it. A minute of you just
You're saying
down
that
the
now,
camera,
Adam.
looking down the camera with daggers, being just like, I can't do an impression of my fiance.
there was quite a few.
But it's okay. It's okay though because neither can Ollie.
I wasn't doing an impression of Michelle.
Hey,
I was just doing a generic Yorkshire accent. Michelle's not even from Yorkshire.
I know.
My girlfriend's from Pakistan, so I'm glad you're not doing anything to do with her.
Oh, you wait.
There's still time.
A roaster.
She'll sound like she's from Yorkshire, regardless.
That's all that Ollie could do. So the Yorkshire or
Sell us
his
on
voice.
DFS.
And I can also do Rachel Adedoje.
We noticed.
Very
Oh,
well done,
man.
though, everyone.
Yes.
Yes.
One of the most successful
I think,
from start
yeah.
to finish.
It's
That's the
pretty
most
well.
successful we've had since Andy did the nativity, which was basically just remember the nativity.
I mean, it's because the middle bit is just Phil, isn't it? The middle bit is a conversation.
It's just
and
a
you
chat,
sort
yeah.
of have
Yeah.
a chat. You know, I really just inhabit.
I find it helps with the
characters,
accent
let them
because
have
I-
a life of their own. You know.
Yep.
Yeah. The accent
Exactly.
helps
You could
because
just-
I
you could
know
just-
that I have to do a silly
You
thing.
just improv it.
Yeah.
What does he
Yeah.
want? To not go out with his wife? What does his wife want? Either to go out with him. Apparently, biscuits are the original one. but
Yeah, go to the
that
shops.
didn't make it.
The
into
Sally
mine, so
Bolognese.
what does she?
I was going to say,
want?
does Spag Bowl not make it?
Oh no.
Oh, when did we lose
no.
that?
I had it.
I had it.
Yeah, it
we
might have
lost
been with me.
We lost it at Andy because
Sorry.
she just wanted to go play dominoes with him.
Yeah. I was just
Yeah.
going off on dominoes. No,
the
I just
BYD.
imagined. I was just trying to imagine if it was a conversation between Pete and Michelle.
The Boneyard Boys sound like a shit Beano comic.
Sorry, I wasn't watching then.
They weren't an on-screen act.
No, they're not,
No,
they're
they
not a
weren't.
thing. It's Undertaker's got it tattooed on him. BSK for
Yeah,
Bone Street Crew. It's like
BSK.
his gang that he's in.
They're backstage.
Like in real
it
life.
was his version of the Click. Because I remember
Right.
when we were kids and you found out about the Bone Screw, it's like, oh, that sounds really scary. And then it sounds proper lame when you find out it's about dominoes. You're like, yeah,
Is it
sounds
also
less cool
crew
now.
with a K?
Yeah, it is,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
BSK.
Yeah, with a Z at the end.
Basically.
Which is also
They're
shortening
cool.
of biscuit.
Mm.
Yes.
Is that an intention, Ollie, of your story?
Yes.
It's layered. There's just like layers here.
It's like
cream.
like a
Like a
custard
custard
cream.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well.
Lord.
Oh, dear.
Well done,
Isn't the
everyone.
BSK a serial killer?
Yes.
No, that's
BTK. BTK.
Ah, BTK.
Yeah.
Not that many layers.
Probably also a K-pop band.
BTS.
Biscuit sauce in
KSI, do you
Korea.
want to just FTR? Should we just say a few more?
BRB. Right.
STD.
If
Yeah,
you
GTG.
want to see the whole version of this, which is just basically people dunking on Pete's fiance, I guess.
Yeah, I guess
At
it
a
must
part
be.
of an
Yeah.
hour. Then
Let's not take that quote out of context, eh?
check out our Patreon at
They actually get
patreon.com/.
engaged on the video.
You're engaged.
You're engaged.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, guys, not the time to talk over. Patreon.com/partsFUNknown. If you want to watch a full watch along, if you want early access to this series as well and all the other edited series on partsFUNknown, this is important. We want money.
Thanks for directing it, by the way.
It's an excellent plug, Laurie.
Yeah,
you
done,
are the
Laurie.
king of all of this Patreon stuff. Congratulations.
There's still an outro to come yet. You know, where I plug all this stuff.
Well, I'm plugging it
Yeah,
now.
well,
so
we
that
don't need you, Pete.
Yeah, we don't.
people
Laurie's
will
doing
listen
it
to
dead good.
my authority. Run over there and get on Patreon.
So that was another episode of Calling Spots. Thank you very much for watching, and of course a special shout out to the lovely people over at Critical Role, because they are the ones who came up with this narrative telephone idea that we've kind of just stolen a little bit. Go and check out their narrative telephone series. They've just started their second season. It's great. And also go on over and check out our Patreon page, where you can get loads and loads of benefits, including submitting your own Calling Spots outline, which we'll take and write our own story around, and also getting access to the bonus watch along, where you can see us react to everybody's go at the story. So head on over to that page, plus you get loads of other perks based on all the other series that we do here on partsFUNknown as well. There's loads of stuff. There's a fan quiz on Mania that's just happened. There's suggestions on how Adam would book. All sorts of stuff over there, so go ahead and check it out. It will very much be worth your time. Press the videos that have just appeared on the screen to catch up with more partsFUNknown stuff. Subscribe here, enable notifications so you can be first to watch when new videos go live. Thank you very much for watching, and this was another episode of Calling Spots, a narrative telephone game.